Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Start with the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope you all are fine and doing well in your lives. Welcome to our new lesson, and I'm your teacher, Mrs. Sonia Laraib. My Zoom ID is 462-885-1068. Previously, you are done with the reading and comprehension of Pip Meets a Convict. Today, we are going to study lessons exercise C, learning about language. In learning about language, today we will discuss adjectives that are also known as describing words. Our second topic is phrases. These are the groups of related words without any subject and verb. And lastly, we will discuss about adjective phrases. Adjective phrases are the groups of describing words. Now, let's come to our first topic, that is adjectives. As you all know, adjectives are words that describe nouns and things. They answer such questions as what kind, which one, how many. That means they tell us the quantity and quality of a noun or a thing. Adjectives can be used to describe color. Color can be of blue, red, green, brown, purple, yellow, and black. Adjectives are also used to describe opinion, such as good, pretty, right, wrong, or funny. They describe size, that is big, small, long, and short. They also describe time, for example, late and early. We can use adjectives to describe age, that is old and young, as well as distance, for example, long, short, near, or far. And lastly, temperature, such as cold, warm, hot, and cool. Let's watch a video now to understand adjectives more clearly.
Adjectives. Describing words. Words that describe the quality of a person, animal, place, or thing are called adjectives. Words for numbers, colors, size, and shape are also adjectives. For example, smart boy, green parrot, big hall, round ball, one hen and two chicks. So, we see that words used to describe quality, color, size, shape, and number are called adjectives. An adjective also describes how someone or something looks, tastes, feels, smells, or sounds like. For example, beautiful girl, salty chips, soft pillow, fresh fragrance, loud music. Here, beautiful describes the looks of the girl. Salty describes the taste of the chips. Soft describes the feel of the pillow. Fresh describes the fragrance of the perfume. And loud describes the sound of the music.
So now you must have understood the adjectives. Let's come to the exercise on your book, page number 90. There is question number 1 under the heading of adjectives. Let's see what is in the question. Underline the adjectives in the following. So there are a few sentences given and they want you to underline the adjectives among these sentences. Now, keep in your minds the points to identify adjectives, and I will read these sentences for you. You must underline the adjectives after each sentence. Later, I will show you the answer key for the exercise. Let's start with the first sentence, that is, once upon a time, there lived a young girl. B is, she went to a good school and had a clever teacher. C is, by mistake, she brought her old textbook to class instead of the new one. D is, the forgetful girl thought the teacher would shout at her in a loud voice. E is, but the thoughtful teacher noticed the poor girl's expression. F is, the teacher opened her metal cupboard with a shiny key. G is, you can borrow this spare copy, said the kind teacher. I hope you have underlined all the adjectives in these sentences. Here is your answer key. Let's match the answers with the answer key. First one is young girl. In first sentence, the adjective was young, which was describing the age of a girl. In second sentence, the adjectives were good and clever. In third sentence, adjectives were old and new. In fourth sentence, adjectives were forgetful and loud. In fifth sentence, adjectives were thoughtful and poor. In sixth sentence, the adjectives were metal and shiny. In last sentence, the adjectives were spare and kind. Now, if you have matched your answers, let's move toward our next topic. Our next topic is phrases. The question here arises is, what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of related words that is used as a single part of speech. It will not contain both a subject and a verb. That means it is not a sentence because in sentence we always have a subject and a verb. So phrase is not a sentence, but it can be a part of sentence. For example, over the fence, in a dish. Both are phrases because they do not have any subject and verb. Now come to the book, page number 19 as well as 20. The heading here is phrases and adjective phrases. First, we will discuss phrases only, and later we will discuss adjective phrases. The question here is, do you know what a phrase is? Now, you must have know this because we already have learned about phrase. A phrase is a group of words. It is not a sentence, but part of a sentence. A phrase gives us an idea but does not have a verb in it. For example, in a minute, you and I, up the tree, my father's shirt. Question number 2 for the phrases is, say which of the following on page number 20 are phrases. Note that the punctuation has not been included. Here in the question, the punctuation means they are referring to the capital letters in the phrases. So they haven't included the capital letters in the phrases. Now come to page number 20. Here you have a box in which groups of words are written, and you have to identify the phrases among these. Dear students, I will read these for you. While listening to me, you must have in your minds that a phrase does not has a verb. So underline the phrases by knowing that point. Our first group of words is over the fence. Do you think it is a phrase? Yes, very good. Because it does not have a verb and subject. Next is he kicked it. C is she likes mangoes. D is in a dish. E is now and then. F is I am on the road. G is 3 or 4. H is they don't want any. I is are you coming? J is good and bad. Here are a few group of words with verbs in it. So be cautious about those. Let's have a look at answer key and match your answers now. First phrase we have is over the fence. Second is in a dish. Third is now and then. Fourth is 3 or 4. Fifth is good and bad. So you must have matched your answers. Rest of the group of words have verbs in them. So those are not phrases at all. Now it's time to move to our last topic of the day, that is adjective phrases. We have studied the phrase. Now the question is, What is an adjective phrase? An adjective phrase is a group of words that include an adjective which modifies a noun or pronoun in a sentence. Means adjective phrase as a whole now describes the noun or a pronoun. Look at the examples here. First one is the happy dog wags his tail all day long. Second is the dog that seems very happy wags his tail all day long. Second example is the bright sun shone through the window. Next sentence for this is the sun that is so bright shone through the window. Both of these mean the same thing. However, the first sentences use adjectives, whereas the second sentences have adjective phrases. Now, let's watch a video to know more about adjective phrases.
An adjective is a word which describes a noun. We have also learnt about phrases. A phrase is a group of words that does not make sense by itself. It does not have a subject and a predicate and depends on other words to form a meaningful sentence. For example, Zizi is reading an animal book. In this sentence, the word animal is the adjective because it describes the noun book. Now, let's see the same sentence in a different way. Zizi is reading a book on animals. In this sentence, the words on animals is identified as the phrase because it is a group of words describing the noun book. Now that we've revised what adjectives and phrases are, it's easy to understand an adjective phrase. When a phrase describes the noun in the sentence, it is called an adjective phrase. So, an adjective phrase is a phrase that does the work of an adjective in a sentence. In the earlier example, we can state that the group of words on animals is an adjective phrase. Let's look at the sentence Zizi was reading earlier. A polar bear has a coat made of thick fur. Can you spot the phrase in this sentence? Made of thick fur is the phrase. It has no subject and no predicate. This phrase also describes the noun coat. In other words, it qualifies the noun. This makes it an adjective phrase. Now that we know what an adjective phrase is, let us learn to identify it in a sentence. In the example shown here, we can identify the adjective phrase by asking the question, what kind of a coat? We get the answer, made of thick fur, which becomes our adjective phrase qualifying the noun coat.
We have studied adjective phrases in detail now. Come to page number 20 to solve the exercise for adjective phrases. In your book, they say sometimes phrases are used as adjectives. For example, this is a book with an old cover. He is a man of great age. The adjective phrases are in italics above. They have italicized the adjective phrases in above examples. Now, question number 3 for adjective phrases is add suitable adjective phrases to the following. You have to complete the blanks with adjective phrases of your own. Here are some answers that I have written for you, but you must do it yourself. First sentence is, she bought the shirt with green lining. B is, I looked at the sky, which was starry at night. C is, they saw the fox in deep forest. D is, this is a shirt with blue and white collar. E is, he heard the tiger roaring loud. Now here we are done with our last topic of the day. It's time to take review of all the concepts we have learned today. First of all, we have discussed adjectives that are also known as describing words. They are used to describe color, opinion, size, time, age, distance, temperature, etc. Then we move to phrases, which are groups of words without subject and verb. We studied that phrases are parts of sentences, but they are not complete sentences. For example, over the fence, in a dish. The last topic we studied was adjective phrases. Phrases which contain an adjective are called adjective phrases. They always modify noun and pronoun. I hope it is all clear now. We have discussed each and everything in detail. Now, write down your assignment question for your homework, which is make 5 adjective phrases and use them in sentences of your own. You have to make 5 adjective phrases first and then use those adjective phrases in your own sentences. The lesson ends today. Thanks to all of you. Take care. Allah Hafiz.